Is unified namespace old news? Take 0. All right, so I had a conversation with a couple of members of the community yesterday, 2 separate conversations about UNS. I think they were kind of part of the same conversation, but they were asking me, hey, do you think unified namespace is old news? And obviously my answer was, of course not. That's ridiculous. Later on in the day, I took a step back and I really thought about the question. And I actually came up with a nuanced answer. And here I'm gonna show you why it's not old news. Obviously, I'm not gonna bury the lead here, but I took a nuanced approach to it. And the answer is that if you mean unified namespace is old news, if what you mean by that is we don't need to lead every conversation with unified namespace, right? We don't need to leave. Actually, it's not even unified namespace is an architecture, right? It is an architecture that's edge-driven, report by exception, lightweight, open. It creates a single source of truth through which you can build a single pane of glass. It is the current state of your business, semantically organized in a way that makes sense hierarchically. It represents the business. It gives you the ability to monitor the present so that you can historize the present, normalize and contextualize every data point in relation to one another using descriptive, functional, and informational namespaces. If what you mean is that we don't need to lead the conversation with unified namespace, we can have the conversation assuming that unified namespace or something like it is already there as part of the digital strategy, then I agree with you. But I don't think the people who are having this conversation, that's what they meant. So of course not. If we're in the 5th industrial revolution right now, the convergence of human and artificial intelligence. And at the end of the day, digital transformation and the convergence of human and artificial intelligence are designed to really do one thing, and that is convert data into decisions to optimize businesses so that they can do more with less, right? You're either growing or dying. There's no third direction. There's no such thing as homeostasis in business, okay? Markets grow. If you're holding steady but the market itself is growing, then you're dying. You're actually dying, all right? So you're either growing or dying. There's no third direction. Unified namespace is core to being able to unlock the potential in artificial intelligence. I mean, this is the reason that HiveMQ is going from a data platform to an information platform to an AI enablement platform. 1, 2, 3, right? They are natural progressions of one another, right? But I'm going to show you what I mean. Every conversation that I'm having right now, I'm qualifying that they have a single source of truth, that they are implementing a UNS architecture or something like it, or I'm pivoting the conversation to digital strategy, IT department as service organization, unified namespace architecture, connect, collect, store, analyze, visualize, find patterns, report, and solve iteratively, IIoT platform, data operations, right, to cloud-based data store. I'm pivoting the conversation in that direction before I start talking about AI enablement. But let's go ahead and just take a look at what I mean. All right, so we're looking at the virtual factory for the Prove It conference. That's what we're looking at here right now. Right now, I've got 2 virtual factories running. I have the virtual factory from last year, which is our flexible packager, right? So Enterprise, Dallas, and then we have our press, lamination, slit, and bag area. Those of you who came to Prove It last year, this has been running for a year and a half now. We have 50-something vendors using it. And then we have Enterprise A, which is a glass manufacturer, okay? And this is for this year. Yeah, we have A, B, and C. A is a glass manufacturer, B is a bottler, and C is a life sciences UNS. I happen to be in a broker and I'm only subscribed to last year's virtual factory and the glass manufacturer in this endpoint. All right. So in theory, digital transformation pre-agentic AI was all about taking data and converting it into decisions for human beings, right? So if I go into my press area, I've got my edge namespace called MQTT. I've got all my raw data points coming in from telemetry, from PLCs, from embedded controllers, et cetera, et cetera. These are real measurements. Anything that starts with a lowercase letter in this case is coming directly from the DH445 Siemens motion controller. Anything with a capital letter is abstracted, okay? It might be a calculated value. But it's not anything with a lowercase letter, starting with a lowercase letter it means that it is originating in the PLC. Okay. So you've got that edge namespace, right? You've got our production line namespace. So we're mapping directly into in-feed, out-feed state and waste. And then we have our MES is bolted onto this unified namespace, consuming those events, storing them into a transactional backend. And then there's an engine that runs that spits out OEE calculations and all of our KPIs, right? This is the dispatch namespace where the ingress is. So in-feed, out-feed, waste, and line state. These values are literally stored into the transaction database from this dispatch namespace. That's what it means. Dispatch it into the transaction. All right. So this is what UNS looks like, right? And then all of this is, this is coming from the ERP. So role production, role info, role consumption, running role information. Shift change is coming from the supervisory system. They call it a shop floor system. And then the machine schedule is coming from the scheduler, the endpoint that the scheduler uses. And then we have the dashboard, which shows the data on top of the production line, right? That's a UNS, right? That was built years ago to help to convert data into information so human beings can make decisions. Now, the promise of agentic AI is to leverage agents to help human beings make decisions, point them in the right direction. Obviously, unified namespace is still very, very pertinent. And let me show you how, all right? So let me go ahead and just launch Claude. I'm using an agent, a desktop agent that I will be using. And the first thing you're going to see here is an agent namespace should pop up in the unified namespace right there, agents. Okay, so that is this agent right here that I just opened, all right? So there's an engine running, an AI engine running that is generating the MCP servers for this plant. All right. So here are the MCP servers. So we have basically 3 MCP servers. We have the MySQL MES MCP server. We have the MQTT UNS MCP server. So that is, if we ask the agent a question about the operation, the agent may determine to use the MQTT UNS endpoint to help us make our decision, to inform us. All right. We have the MES Press 103 namespace. All right. So what that is there is agent. There's an MCP server that is unique to manufacturing execution for just this press. Okay. So that is all of the data. The context is filtered down to just one asset. Okay. So how does this work? So if I look right now, each of these agents, the way that this works is each of these agents have an identity, a status, an activity, and a heartbeat. Okay, so if I go to MQTT, if I go to MySQL, they all have the same namespaces, all right? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask my agent to help me with Press 103. So what is the current OEE on Press 103? We'll just go really simple, all right? So Claude is doing some work, all right? So it's using the Get OEE Summary tool, and it's saying that it's 0%. The availability is 0.1, performance is 0. Basically, it's not running, and it hasn't been running on this production run. That's why it's 0%. The equipment's been down for 4.5 days with only about 18.6 hours of runtime recorded. Quality is perfect when it's running, but the extended downtime is crushing availability. Would you want me to pull the downtime summary to see what's causing the extended stoppage? Let's pause there before I ask. Let's go to MES Press 103. Okay, let's take a look at our agent. So we have in our unified namespace, we have an identity namespace that is informing us. By the way, this state gets added into the UNS. So the agent, when the agent connects, we are integrating the agent into the infrastructure. And if we are storing, which we are, we're storing this in BigQuery, we're basically capturing current state, we're storing it in Snowflake. So the moment this agent connects, we now know the agent is connected and we know the questions Not only do we know the questions that are being asked of the agent, we know the reasoning the agent is going through to determine the outcome. And if that data is not important, I don't know what is. Because at the end of the day, how do you take AI agents and make it so that they're not black boxes? Well, native integration into UNS is part of that process. Also, having the events, the decision-making process, the connection, and the process that these agents are going through as part of your infrastructure, normalized and contextualized against other outcomes in the business, gives us the ability to train models on those actions. We can make the agents better. So yeah, obviously UNS is important. So if we go ahead and if we look at MES Press 103, this is what happened here is I asked about OEE, and basically in the tools namespace, the get OEE summary was called. It took 2.01 milliseconds for the response. It was true. There was no error, and there's only been one invocation account. So yeah, this is really important. No, unified namespace is not old news. Unified namespace has never been more important. I'm going to argue that the unlocking the promise of agentic AI through human beings is going to be more successful today than it would have been had unified namespace not existed. In fact, many industries are struggling to unlock the potential of agentic AI, but guess who isn't? Organizations who have UNS infrastructure or something like it. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's pull the downtime summary. Yes, go ahead and pull the downtime summary. So what should happen here is it should go ahead and pull from the MySQL database. So now it's doing get downtime summary. Let's see if it pulled. No, it pulled it from the MES. Get the downtime summary. It's invocated one time. It took much longer, 82 milliseconds. So right now what it's saying is that the press has been down, but a coded reason has been logged. The reason a coded reason has been logged is because the operator post facto after the event, the operator has to go in and code it. And so now we know the operator hasn't coded it. Okay, let's see if... So that's a simple example. This is a simple example of how unified namespace has never been more prevalent or more important. If you look at all of my integrations, all the stuff I'm doing with clients, the organizations that have UNS architecture are way ahead of the curve in unlocking the potential of agentic AI. This is the reason when HiveMQ reached out to me about the future of their business, and they were saying, hey, we want to run an idea by you. This is kind of the direction we're going. What do you think? And I'm thinking, it's the natural evolution. What is unified namespace? It's the single source of truth for all data and information, normalized and contextualized for your business, organized like your business, supporting structured, unstructured, and ethereal data. There are no other architectures that do that. There are no other architectures that do that. What is ethereal? Ethereal is a piece of information or a piece of data that is sent one or very few times or at an undefined interval. Only when it happens. Unified namespace supports descriptive namespaces, the stuff that never or rarely changes. The information on a motor plate, on a motor running on a conveyor. It supports informational namespaces, the stuff that people are viewing, the things that are on dashboards, the things that are going to reports, the things that are going to other endpoints. That's it. Those are informational namespaces. It supports functional namespaces, which is basically think of any function in any piece of software that you buy for the concrete side of the business or the carpeted side of the business. OEE is a function. Control is a function. Alarm is a function. It's a function of the business. It's a function of the process. Is UNS old news? No, absolutely not. It's preposterous. I would argue that if you're asking that question, then that means you're failing to see how the promise of agentic AI is going to be realized. I think that most people, when it comes to the fifth industrial revolution, most manufacturers on the OT side of the business, they're focused on digital transformation. They're not focused on agents. Okay. Right now, it's a lot of manufacturers who think the promise of agents is replacing people. Those people are clearly fucking morons. You have to be an idiot to think that the real promise that is AI not going to replace some people? Sure. Like technical writers in our industry are absolutely going to get replaced by agents. Okay. There are positions, there are job functions that agents are going to be better at. But that's the exception. It's not the rule. The real role of agents is to make people better at what they do, more efficient, optimized, faster, smarter. That's the real promise. And Unified Namespace enables agents to do that. With that, like, subscribe, comment down below, and I'll see you in the next one.